Let's talk about the word routine. For most of us, that word sounds, well, kind of dull, right? A little boring. But what if I told you that for a toddler, a routine is the exact opposite of boring? In fact, it's a genuine superpower, one that helps build their confidence, their independence, and even literally shapes their developing brain. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how that works.
And this right here really gets to the heart of it. While we might see a fixed schedule as restrictive, a little kid experiences it in a completely different way. For them, knowing what's coming next isn't limiting at all, it's liberating. It creates this predictable world where they feel safe and secure, and that gives them the confidence to go explore and learn. That feeling of safety, well, that's the foundation for real freedom. So here's our roadmap for this. First, we'll dig into why routines are so brilliant for kids. Then, we're going to unpack a really key concept from Montessori education called normalization. After that, we'll look at the power of predictability, get into some practical tips for home, and finally, see how all of this builds skills that are going to last a lifetime.
Okay, let's start with this absolutely fascinating idea that's right at the heart of the Montessori philosophy. Now, this wasn't some theory just pulled out of thin air. It actually came from Maria Montessori's careful, direct observation of how kids thrive. The whole goal of creating a structured environment isn't just about, good behavior. It's about achieving something much deeper that they call normalization. Now, the most interesting part of this definition is right at the end, out of their own choice. See, normalization isn't about creating little robots who just follow orders. It's the total opposite. It's that state a child reaches when their world feels so safe and predictable that they can freely choose an activity and become completely happily lost in it.
And this is what it actually looks like in real life. You've probably seen it. It's not that loud, chaotic, bouncing off the walls energy. It's that quiet, amazing moment when your kid is just deeply focused on stacking blocks or meticulously lining up their cars. That's joyful concentration. They're working on their own, building self-discipline, and you can just feel this sense of calm purpose coming from them. That right there, that's normalization in action.
So how do we get to that amazing state of calm focus we were just talking about? Well, the secret ingredient is predictability. Think about it. When a child's brain doesn't have to waste energy constantly wondering what's going to happen next, it frees up all these incredible mental resources for learning, for creativity, and for self-control.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Focus, less stress, and self-control. I mean, these aren't just little nice-to-haves. They are the fundamental building blocks for everything from emotional regulation to doing well in school. And a simple, consistent routine directly feeds all three of them.
You can really see here how it's all connected. It's like a positive chain reaction. A predictable day leads to less stress. Less stress allows for more focus. More focus helps them master self-control. And all of that together grows this powerful sense of independence. They're not separate things. They all feed each other. Okay, so we've covered the why, and it's pretty compelling stuff. Now, let's switch gears to the how. Let's talk about how we can actually build on this at home with a few simple, really practical strategies to create that same feeling of structure and security. And the approach is refreshingly simple. First, don't try to schedule every minute of the day all at once. That's just overwhelming. A great place to start with just one routine, like bedtime or cleaning up toys. Second, you gotta be consistent. Repetition is literally how young kids learn and internalize patterns. And third, and this one is a real game changer, offer choices within the routine. And this is so crucial. Structure does not mean being rigid like a drill sergeant. Just look at this example. The routine is clear, right? We're gonna read a book and we're gonna put on pajamas. But the child gets to decide the order. This tiny choice is incredibly empowering for them. It gives them a feeling of control and makes them a willing participant, not just someone being bossed around. Now let's zoom out a bit, because the benefits of what you're doing today, they don't just magically disappear after toddlerhood. Let's take a look at how this builds into powerful skills that last a lifetime. The habits you're helping form right now have a real, measurable impact years and years down the road.
The evidence for this is pretty striking. I mean, one study found a direct link between something as simple as an inconsistent bedtime at age 3 and poorer performance on core academic skills later on. It just goes to show you that a lack of routine can actually create a genuine disadvantage for a child's brain development. But on the flip side, the long-term payoff is huge. Another brilliant study found that kids who grew up with consistent routines actually developed into adults with better time management skills and a greater attention to detail. Just think about that for a second.
The simple act of a predictable mealtime today is literally teaching them foundational skills that will help them manage a project at work someday.
So, all of this brings us to the final and most important question. This isn't about creating a perfect, color-coded schedule or doing a complete life overhaul. It's about the power of small, consistent actions. So, what is one small, predictable moment you could introduce into your child's day starting today? Because that one small routine, it just might be the start of something truly amazing.